details of it.
If you are a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders, the number one thing on your mind right now is what the hell is going on with the quarterback position and Jimmy Garoppolo. We are going to break down today some of the odd comments that Josh McDaniels said about the quarterback situation. And we also have an update on Hunter Renfrow and OTAs. What is going on with this roster as they prepare for the 2023 season? We also have an update on Josh Jacobs. First and foremost, Tom Brady. Can he be the savior of the Raiders? We've wondered, is this guy gonna come out of retirement, suit up with the Raiders, the Super Bowl's in Vegas? Oh my goodness, can it be? Oh, whoa, DC versus Brady in the Super Bowl in Vegas, and maybe a rematch next year in New Orleans, because that's where the Super Bowl is gonna be held in 2024. But it looks like that will not be a possibility. Tom Brady has said that he is done.
I'm certain I'm not playing again, so I've tried to make that clear, and I hate to continue to profess that because I've already told people that lots of times.
It's sad to say that I'm well over a decade younger than Brady, but he looks much younger than me. But it looks like that's not going to be an option. And keep in mind, Tom Brady has the same agent as Jimmy Garoppolo, Don Yee. This was reported by Pro Football Talk. So Brady is likely well aware of Garoppolo's situation, and he probably would not have invested in the Raiders and tried to become a minority owner if he was planning on coming back to play. Yes, he only needs 24 votes by the owners to play for the Raiders, but it looks like he's not interested in doing that at age 46. Today is June 1st. That's a key day for all teams around the NFL. You have those post June 1st cuts where you could usually trade or cut somebody for significantly less money. You'll lose less cap space if you do it after June 1st, but Hunter Renfrow is there at OTAs, according to Paul Gutierrez of ESPN, hanging out with Devontae Adams, and the Raiders are going to need an elite receiving core to help out Jimmy Garoppolo if he's available. More on that in a little bit. Or even Aiden O'Connell, or oh my goodness, please no Brian Hoyer if he has to suit up. Their job's going to be a lot easier if they have all these amazing playmakers around them. Hopefully it'll make them look even better than they actually are. Let's get into it. Josh McDaniels at the press conference today. Reporters tried to ask about the quarterback situation, but in my opinion, nobody had any huevos. Should that make sense? And I'm going to let you guys know some questions I would have asked if I was there, but I don't know, man. Maybe Josh McDaniels would square up against me and not let me go in the building. I'm joking. But right away, Vincent Bosignor asked Josh McDaniels about Jimmy Garoppolo. Will he expect him to be back? The fans are anxious about the situation. And Josh McDaniels didn't really say much and had an interesting grin on his face when he said he had no anxiety.
I have no anxiety.
Right, okay, there you go.
You guys might have anxiety.
Is there
I don't have any anxiety.
Well, Josh McDaniels, we're not really asking you about your mental health and whether or not you suffer from an anxiety disorder. We want to know if your freaking handsome-ass quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, is going to make it to training camp, let alone week 1 of the season. And Josh McDaniels straight up said he will not put a timeline on anything. He does not seem confident to just say, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be ready for training camp.
Yep, I'm not going to put a timeline or a day on anything, but like I said, I have no anxiety. Feel pretty good about it.
And instead of asking this guy whether or not he has anxiety about the quarterback situation, should have just asked him, man, can you say right now that you believe Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be ready by training camp, yes or no? And he was asked to follow up on this. And one reason why I'm kind of disappointed is he was only asked about Jimmy Garoppolo twice, which is literally the biggest story going on right now with the Raiders. Arguably all that freaking matters.
Again, we can't control, this is football, and there's definitely going to be players that miss time, and Josh Jacobs wasn't able to do a whole lot last year either. And
so he's not exactly saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be fine. He's saying that the Raiders are going to be fine. And he even went as far as to say like, oh, there's nothing that I could do about things that are out of my control, meaning injuries.
I don't worry about the things I can't control. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I have very good information that, would tell me that, we're going to be fine. You know what I mean? So nothing has happened that would have changed that. Okay.
Right there, you can kind of locate an excuse. Oh, there's there's nothing I can do about Jimmy Garoppolo. And McDaniels keeps repeating that everything will be fine, but he's not necessarily saying that Jimmy Garoppolo will be fine. And the big kicker and the big juicy part of this is when Josh McDaniels said that he has inside information that everything will be fine. He has inside information that everything will be fine. Well, does that mean that the Raiders will be fine? Or does he have inside information that specifically Jimmy Garoppolo will be fine? That is all we really care about right now, since the Raiders plan to have him as the starting quarterback. And now when you break down everything that's happened, when you break down the surgery, the injuries that he has, and the second metatarsal, the medial cuneiform, it just does not seem likely that this guy is going to be 100% by training camp. And fool me once, shame on you. Fool me a second time. At a certain point, it is our fault for continuing to believe Josh McDaniels. Let's break down the timeline. 1, he did not tell us about Jimmy Garoppolo's surgery. We finally found that out last week during his press conference at OTAs. So he was not straight up about that. 2, they lied by omission by not letting us know what happened when that press conference was delayed. They said they had to just dot some I's, cross some T's with the contract. They did not tell us that he failed his physical, and that is why they had to delay that press conference. And then on top of that, the recent lie last week at OTAs was the fact that Josh McDaniels said, and he even repeated this again, that they were not surprised by anything with Jimmy Garoppolo since the moment that they decided to sign him. And that is complete BS, because literally they changed the contract after he failed his physical. We found that out over Memorial Weekend. He had the $11 million signing bonus. They wiped all that crap away. Jimmy Garoppolo and his agent Don Yee had such little leverage because of this failed physical that they couldn't even get a freaking penny of a signing bonus from the Raiders. And so those are the recaps of the lies. Not straight up about the failed physical, not straight up about not knowing about his health and being surprised with the failed physical, and also not being straight up about his surgery. This came as a surprise last week, and we still don't even know exactly the date in which Jimmy Garoppolo did have surgery. How soon after the press conference did the doctor have to go to work on the guy? And so now we have this new statement by Josh McDaniels that everything's going to be fine, that he has no anxiety about Jimmy Garoppolo, and that he has inside information that everything's going to be a-okay. Are we really going to believe this last one? And I'll go next level with you guys. I don't think everything's fine. I do not believe, if I had to bet right now, I would definitely bet against Josh McDaniels, and I would bet that Jimmy Garoppolo will likely not make training camp. And then we have to go the next level. How likely is he going to injure this medial cuneiform, this second metatarsal? Can he get re-injured again? Jimmy Garoppolo is basically going to be paid a base salary, no bonuses, week-to-week checks. The Raiders can let him go at any moment if he re-injures that left foot in the second metatarsal and middle cuneiform. And I'm not confident in that. And when we got a head coach out there saying, oh, I have no anxiety, oh, trust me, I got inside information, after he's repeatedly not been straight up with the fans about what's going on, I'm not going to be fooled again, because then it's shame on me. And then Josh McDaniels, sometimes he has his gang in the media. Some Josh McDaniels is kind of like a pimp, and he has some of his H words in the media, and Michael Lombardi is one of them, and he is the dad of the offensive coordinator Mick Lombardi, and he always reminds us that I'm not just saying this because my son works for Josh McDaniels. Trust me, I'm not just saying this because my son works for McD. And this guy is trying to say that the injury waiver of Jimmy Garoppolo is no deal, but he completely neglects the fact that the signing bonus was wiped away, which is a huge deal. If this agent, and the agents love money, if this agent can't get a cent from the Raiders on day one, no cash on hand, that's a big red flag, bro. And that is highly, highly unusual. I alluded earlier to some questions that I would have asked Josh McDaniels. The big question that I would ask is, did Davante Adams know about Jimmy Garoppolo's health prior to that Ringer article in which he said he does not see eye to eye with the front office right now? Because maybe Davante Adams is seeing this guy not 100% healthy, not able to participate, walking around in maybe a boot, if the dude could even walk at all, which is straight up an open question right now. Then perhaps that prompted him to say those comments in the Ringer article, and now we have Josh Jacobs right here posting cryptic messages on social media. He is not at OTAs. He has not signed his franchise tag yet at all, and he said something quite interesting. He retweeted Brandon Marshall talking about how running backs need to get paid, and then he had a reply when some asshole in the comments, some loser, said that you can't get the same money that you want on the open market if you wanted to, and this guy's a Raiders fan, just disrespecting one of our best players. You're a piece of shit. if you do that. Sorry, I mean, he's in a tough spot being a running back. Try to have a little bit of sympathy for the guy. And this user who said this rude comment to Josh Jacobs, he has his username Mad Max, one of these anonymous losers on Twitter. You know that they can't even have their real picture, their real face, their real name. By the way, WiFiWillie is my real name. But when that guy said, hey, you couldn't get paid on the open market, Jacobs said, yeah, you clearly don't know anything. And Jacobs deleted this because he doesn't want the drama, but many people saved it, of course. Once you say something on social media, especially if you're a famous player, we know it's there forever. But Jacobs said, hey, you know, if you want me to be the hero, you got to pay me like the hero, and the hero might turn into a villain if you don't do that. And now that we got a quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo, who's likely not going to be 100% at all during this season, might not even be ready for training camp, which is 8 weeks away. Uh-oh, the clock is ticking. Well, it looks like Jacobs is expected to be the hero. Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy handoff. That's what he's done in San Francisco. Oh, he's a winner. Oh, he's a winner. Yeah, when you got an elite defense, you got a great run game, and you almost won that NFC Championship game against the Eagles with freaking Josh Johnson, a fifth-string quarterback. Clearly, Jimmy G is not the reason that they're a winner, and clearly Josh Jacobs is going to be expected to carry the workload on the offense when you got a quarterback that's not healthy, who's already known for not throwing that many passes in a game. On the flip side, look, I hope genius Josh McDaniels is 100% correct. I want the Raiders to win as many games as possible this year. I don't want any of this tank BS to happen. And we'll see. And we have the receipts of so many people. We have the receipts, and I'm going to drop some names here. We have the receipts of JT the Brick, of Michael Lombardi saying that everything's going to be great. Josh McDaniels saying that everything's going to be great. And you have receipts of me saying that everything doesn't look too good for Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll see who's right when training camp comes about. I will eat my words and I will say, hey, I was wrong about this if Jimmy Garoppolo ends up being A-okay, but I'm willing to put my eggs in the basket saying that he's not going to be okay. But in the event that he's not okay, hopefully somebody like Aiden O'Connell is going to be ready to go, because honestly, man, I've watched football for a long time. I don't think I'm ready to watch Brian Hoyer lead the Raiders this year. Let me know in the comments if you're confident in Jimmy Garoppolo making it to week 1 of the Raiders 2023 season. My name is WiFiWillie. Check out some of these videos you may have missed on this channel, WiFiWillie Raiders. Peace out, everybody, and I hope you have a good one.